on the FM so we can get our friends on there listening. Here we go. It's 3:38. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. My name is Guardia, and I have a guest in studio, Mayor Keith Bell with the City of Lamarque. Good afternoon, Mayor. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, Guardia. How you been?
I'm good.
Good.
So there's been a lot of stuff happening in the City of Lamarque, and I'm so excited because I see it every day. There's a lot of really amazing things happening, specifically right out our door, and there's so much more.
Yeah.
What's going on in Lamarque right now?
Oh, man, we are excited. I know that a lot of people have been watching social media, watching their news outlets, and they saw that successfully Operation Washout was part of our city law enforcement effort. Over 100 arrests, 44 gang members, $20,000 of drug money seized, and I thought they said about 18 kilos of illegal substance. And of course, you heard about Amazon coming to across the street from you guys, building a distribution center. 250 jobs with Amazon, 150 contract jobs. Many of those jobs will be $15 an hour and above. And so economically, we're moving in the right direction. Our Safe City initiative is moving in the right direction. And so now we're taking the next step in our Safe City initiative. And we got some exciting things coming down the pipe.
So what's the next step? Safe City Initiative, where do we go from here?
The next step in the Safe City initiative is the youth initiative. One of the things that we understand about Safe City is that we have to make sure that we are providing opportunities for the young people of our community to be engaged in positive things. And many people in our community believe that there are just not enough things for our children to do in our community. That's because those organizations that are operating in our community that cater to and that engage young people, those organizations just don't have the bandwidth to be able to saturate our community in a way that would allow for our citizens to understand and know that they are operating. But I can assure you there are at least 8 to 10 organizations in our community operating, and they cater specifically to children. We're talking about financial literacy organizations within our community. We're talking about performing arts organizations in our community, flag football organizations within our community, academic camps within our community, tennis camps. We have folks that are interested in bringing back our softball league. And so there's a vast majority of operations and organizations operating here in our city right now, and they're catering toward young people. They just don't have the resources to be able to provide enough of the marketing piece so that people would be able to understand that they're there. And so the initiative that I'm pushing forward now is not an initiative that necessarily involves city government, but it's an initiative that I felt strongly about as mayor. And the initiative is this, that I would use the office of the mayor to provide a platform for these organizations to come together and network, share information, and also have the opportunity through the office of the mayor and through other organizations to fully provide a full marketing campaign to the community so that the community can know that there are all sorts of opportunities here for young people in our community. Now, we don't have a paid parks and recreation staff, and so when you're a small city, many times you don't have that. But what we can do is we can bring together those opportunities for our young people, and we can provide a platform for folks to understand and engage in those opportunities so that we can help our children from a holistic perspective, right? Not just athletics, but athletics and academics, and not just athletics and academics, but an entire social piece as well. And I'd like to give a shout out to Tanya Griffin and the Cambrell Foundation. She's doing a great work, man. She's knocking it out the park with social activities for our children to engage in to help them understand not only themselves but the world around them. And so my role is to be the cheerleader of all of these organizations, and I'll do just that, not only in the community with young people, but be a cheerleader also with corporate America to make sure that we get some of those funding dollars from corporate America into the hands of some of these fantastic organizations that are working with our children, because this community has to move forward together, not just the children, not just the organizations, but we have corporate partners that do business in and around our city every day that we want to call on to help us to provide the resources so that our children can have a choice in the direction that they like to go in our city.
So is there going to be like a resource created, or even like a list? If someone says there's nothing for our kids to do, just create that resource and says like, well, here's, what are they interested in? Can they volunteer? Financial literacy? Are they interested in technology or radio? I would like to get on that list. I would love to be able to help mentor the next generation.
Exactly. And that's the goal. And that's what I said. So here's the thing. I don't believe that we should always look for the government to fund the solutions that plague our community. I believe that first and foremost, we ought to call on the community to find the answers and the opportunities that the community needs in order to move forward. And so that's exactly what I'm saying, Gardy. I believe that as the mayor, I can provide a platform for those organizations. So what it would look like is this. And let me say this: on February 15th, we're going to have a meeting with all of all of those interested youth groups. Stay tuned to Keith Bell for Mayor Facebook page, and certainly I'll give you my phone number so that you can contact me, 409-877-2645, if you want to be a part of this effort. We're going to meet February 15th. Stay tuned for the time and the location, and every organization that's interested in being a part of this network of organizations that will then become this youth initiative. I want everybody to come out because I want us all to meet each other. I want us to talk to each other. I want us to see where there's synergy, see where there's areas that we can work together. And hopefully when we come out of that meeting, we can come out of that meeting with a holistic offering for our children and for our community so that they can be helped in any and every area that we would have a need. What you do, Gordy, here, this tremendous work that you're doing, getting the word out and information out to the community, this is an area that I'd love to work with you on so that we can then provide an opportunity for our young people who are interested in radio and television and things of that nature. And what you just said to me proved that this initiative is viable, because once people know that the city leaders are looking for people to engage the young people of the community, then they'll start coming out. And so that's why I'm here. And I believe if we can get the organizations in place and we can get the children in place, I believe that we can get corporate sponsorship in place to help us get this word throughout Lamarque and all over the middle of this county. And I believe once we do that, we can prove that we can engage our young people. We can make sure that the data would lend itself to this idea that once we engage our young people, their plight gets better, their grades will become better, their behavior will become better, their outlook on life will become better, and that will then cause them, I believe, to steer clear and to steer themselves away from some of these detrimental parts of our community, the crime and the gangs and some of the other things that we're trying to get them out of. And I believe that's a part of Safe City. Not only do you have to patrol and prosecute existing crime, but you also have to prevent future crime. And that's what the youth initiative is about. It's about providing an opportunity for our young people to become engaged in positive aspects of life so that we can keep them out of some of the more negative aspects of life, thereby causing our city to be safer as we recruit children away from some of those negative aspects of our community.
So that's the youth initiative, the next step of the Safe City initiative, where if you are interested, you can get involved. If you have a business, get involved. A nonprofit, get involved. You're part of a church, get involved. And if I understand correctly, so that's February the 15th.
Yes, it's going to be February the 15th. Stay tuned to my Facebook page, Keith Bell for Mayor, and we will give you the time and the location of that meeting. Right now, we want to hear from you. Email me, inbox me, direct message me, call me on the phone, 409-877-2645, because we want to hear from you. If you are an organization that works with young people in any capacity, we want to hear from you. If you are a corporate sponsor, if you are a corporate partner, and you believe in where Marque is going, give us a call. If you are children or parents and you're looking for things to make sure that your children have an opportunity to be a part of, give us a call, direct message us. We want to hear from you, because it's going to take, and it's been said before, it's going to take an entire village to make sure that we're doing the things that are necessary to direct and move our children in a positive way.
So here's a comment from Chef Jimmy, which he is awesome and a big part of our community with Bay Area entertainers. Said, I'd love to have a kids cooking club to do some cooking classes for the kids in Marque. You know, if anybody's interested in being a chef or just like learning a new skill, I think that'd be a great opportunity, Chef Jimmy. So go ahead and make sure to give Mayor Bell a phone call, send him a text, an email, so we can get you two connected.
Yes, sir, Chef Jimmy. We need some young up and coming chefs in our community.
Because we have too many people like me. I'm an up and coming eater, so I just go out and I eat at all these local restaurants in Marque. There's a ton of great ones. So you know, they see me, and sometimes they're, you know, like, I gotta put some more food on. Make sure we get enough, because I'm coming. I gotta come check it out, right?
Yeah, exactly, and I'm proud of you for that.
All right, so that's the youth initiative. What else do we have going on right here in the city of Marque?
In the city of Marque, while we're working with our youth initiative, we're also in the process of building and rebuilding our Neighborhood Watch program. And so we've made a call to action on January 18th, and the call of action was simply this: if you are a member of our community and you are interested in preventing crime in your area of our community, we're asking you again to call myself, 409-877-2645. We're asking you to direct message me at Keith Bell for Mayor. We're also asking you to get in touch with a fabulous lady who has agreed to rebuild our Neighborhood Watch program by the name of Pat Trevisani. And so Pat Trevisani can be found on Facebook. Pat Trevisani can be found in the Marque Crime Watch group. She can be found in Talk of Marque Uncensored, and she can be found in the Talk of Marque message group as well. She led our Neighborhood Watch before. She led our Crime Stoppers program before. Tremendous lady with a tremendous amount of energy, and she's waiting on us. Again, remember, the way that we prevent crime is by making sure that we are watching out for crime in our community. We want to make sure that before crime happens, we want to make sure that we understand who those folks are in our neighborhoods and what business they have in our neighborhood. And we want to make sure that our neighborhood is safe from any folks that have no business in our neighborhoods. And that we can find that in our Neighborhood Crime Watch.
Yeah,
so we want to make sure that anybody that wants to be a part of our Neighborhood Crime Watch can be a part.
That's what I was going to ask. So, like, who's ideal, and exactly what do you do? Are you taking a risk or anything? You're just like watching or getting involved, calling the police? What is in a typical Neighborhood Watch group? What kind of involvement is entailed?
Neighborhood Watch basically is for an easy way to look at Neighborhood Watch would be see something, say something. And so Neighborhood Watch groups have a captain, and so we're looking for captains. And that captain would simply be a person who is responsible for being the go-to person of that community. So if I was in a Neighborhood Watch in my community, if I was a part of it, I would simply just be aware of my surroundings. I would be aware of my neighbor's surroundings, the neighbors across the street, the neighbors on my street. If I see anything that I feel uncomfortable with, then I would relay that message to my captain. And then my captain would relay that message to a patrol officer who's responsible for patrolling that area. And that's simply that. And so you can do that via text message. You can do it via Facebook. You don't have to come outside and stand up and point, and folks won't know that you are part of the Neighborhood Watch group. You can be effective in your community from your own porch with your own phone. It's just as simple as that. And so we're asking anybody who wants to see Lamarque be the safest city in Texas, we're asking you to take part in our Neighborhood Watch program. Again, Miss Pat Trevisani can be found on Facebook. She can be found in Talk of Lamarque Uncensored, Lamarque Crime Watch, and Talk of Lamarque. And volunteer. All you have to do is make sure that your area is an area that's safe and functional, and an area that doesn't have folks in that area that have no business being there. When you see something, you say something.
You know, I think it was you who said this about policing your own community, and then you don't have to have the police, come in, but you kind of have to watch out because it's like, hey, I don't know that person. Usually, your neighbors, your neighbors' kids, and everything like that. A lot of what we have found out, I think, from studies and just arrests and stuff, is that people from out of town, Lamarque is a huge stretch of I-45, and it's easy to take, Main Street, Lake Road exit, and then you can easily get away.
Right.
So you kind of know, hey, this person doesn't have any business here. There's some weird stuff going on, so you can just make a call and check with your neighbors or call the police or whoever needs to know.
Right. It's a really today and with all the technology we have, it's really easy to be a part of the Neighborhood Watch program. Again, you can sit on your porch. You can drink a cup of coffee. If it's in the afternoon or the evening, you might get you a glass of lemonade. And when you see things that don't look right to you, and all of us we all live in places that we know the traffic flow. We know our neighbors. We know who should be there. We know who shouldn't be there. And when you see folks that don't look like they should be there, we're just simply asking you to report those to your area captain, and your area captain will take care of the rest. And I did say that. I said that earlier this year. There are many communities that don't want a saturated police presence in them. And so if you are one of those communities, the best way to make sure that the law enforcement community is not constantly patrolling your streets is through a neighborhood watch. Because in the neighborhood watch, you would make sure that those folks that the law enforcement community are pursuing, and those folks that in the law enforcement community's patrol, those folks that the law enforcement community is trying to identify as potential folks that would be committing crimes, you're doing that work along with them. And so once our law enforcement community realizes and they become aware that you have a fully functioning neighborhood watch, then they will be able to rely on some of the communications that you're making, and that really improves their efficiency, and it really improves the time that they have to spend patrolling your area and patrolling your streets. And so if you're one of those folks, one of those communities that don't necessarily like to see patrol cars up and down your street, the best way to resolve that is through a fully functioning and effective neighborhood watch program.
Okay. And then you can go find out more information. It's Pat was the name?
Pat Trevisani.
Pat Trevisani.
You can find her. She's on Facebook. She's in Talk of Lamarque. She is in the Lamarque Crime Watch group. She's also on Talk of Lamarque Uncensored. If you can't find her, again, Keith Bell for Mayor is my official Facebook page. And again, 409, here's my number, 877-2645. I want to hear from you.
So here's something that I know you said, and I thought I was like, this is great. You put your number out there and say, seriously, call me. If there's something keeping you up at night, then I want it to keep me up at night. How has that been going? Have you been hearing and talking to the citizens of Lamarque? Have you been able to sleep? Have people been calling you?
I have been able to sleep on some nights, but on other nights I've received phone calls in the wee hours of the morning, and I'm glad to take those calls because I think that most times people want to know that there's somebody that cares about the experiences you're having, and who better of a person in your community to acknowledge those things and those experiences you're having in the community than the elected official. And so I believe wholeheartedly as mayor that the buck stops with me. And so if there are issues in the community, I'm still taking phone calls in the middle of the night. Gardy, one policy that I've tried to implement in my brief time as mayor is if I get any complaint, I personally go out and visit with the constituent. And so I've gotten complaints about drainage. I've gotten complaints about code enforcement. I've gotten complaints about illegal dumping. And I've been out, and I go out, and I drive through. I've driven around the city with constituents. I've walked down streets with constituents. I've stepped in potholes. I've stepped in ditches. I have been as close as humanly possible to backed up sewage. And that's the type of mayor that I'll continue to be. I'm the mayor that you can call at 2 a.m. and I'll answer my phone. I'm the mayor that will come out with you to look at whatever issue, no matter how small it is, in your community, in your home or in your area, because I want the citizens of Lamarque to know that I am here for them, and I'll continue to be here for them no matter time, day or night, rain, sleet, or snow. Your mayor will always be with you, standing shoulder to shoulder in whatever circumstances we find ourselves in, because I care about you.
Yes, sir. So right now it is 3:59, almost 4 o'clock on a Thursday. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. Feel free to share this out and then also ask questions. So if you're watching on social media, I put the mayor's phone number. I believe it's 409-877-2645. Send a text, call, reach out on Facebook, and he will get back to you. So we've talked about the youth initiatives that are going on, and if you're involved and want to get involved, please reach out. And the Neighborhood Watch. We also were able to touch on just a couple of the positive things that are taking place in our area right now, specifically in Lamarque, Texas, which is where we broadcast from, which is awesome. I love it. Pastor Walter Hallam at Abundant Life has always said, you can go anywhere and you want from 601 Delaney Road, Lamarque, Texas. You just have to want to go and have to put forth the effort. And I believe it. This message and the work that we're doing here in Lamarque and saying we can be the safest city in America. And there's steps that are being taken right now. So I want to commend you on that. Is there anything else that you would like to share this afternoon today?
Gard, I just want to say that I am excited about what's happening in Lamarque. I'm excited about the economic development that's happening in Lamarque. Not only do we have economic development that's happening across the street from you, but there's economic development that's happening all around us. There's some great things that are happening on 1764. There's some great things that are happening on Highway 3. And there's some great things that are happening in every part of our community in between. Now, we are in pain due to this I-45 widening that's happening. That's finally starting to come down our way. And so there's some struggles off of 1764. There's some traffic issues. But once we get through that temporary pain, that's going to bring another tremendous economic boon to our city. The city is constantly in talks with potential large corporate partners. I believe that there's going to be some exciting news here sometime this year, sooner rather than later, that will build on what has happened here with Amazon. But also there are small businesses that we're looking to help throughout our community. Mm-hmm. And so Lamarque is on the move. We have new subdivisions coming in here on the west side of the city, and new homes being built here on the west side of the city. And even on in the what a lot of folks would consider the old parts of Lamarque, on those vacant lots from all of the blight reduction that we did in the previous years, now we're starting to see new homes being constructed on those lots after we demolish some of the old inhabitable structures. And so Lamarque is transforming itself from the position that we used to be in, which was uncomfortable for many of us, to this vibrant city that is innovative, that is up and coming, and that is diverse, hardworking, community-oriented. And so Lamarque is, I believe right now, the place to be, but I know that in a few short years, this entire state will know that Lamarque is the place to be.
You're talking about the new developments that are coming in. I remember a city council meeting that I was at in Lamarque, and you were up there. Obviously, you weren't the mayor at the time. This was probably a couple years ago. but there was a developer asking for certain restrictions lifted, tax breaks, and all this stuff going on. And it was pretty close to where we're at right now. And you were asking questions like, well, you know, Delaney Cove's over here. They didn't request these tax breaks. This is over here. You know, why are we going to pass this on, you know, to the future? It's a future problem or whatever. And they didn't have the answers. But I was just like, man.
Yeah.
I said, this guy, he's asking, the questions, and the developer's like, well, you know, they didn't really have, because you're looking out for the citizens of Lamarque. And I was talking to Alex Getty with the Economic Development Corporation. This was on Tuesday, I believe, and saying, well, we want more tax dollars for Lamarque. There's a couple ways you can bring that in with new businesses like Amazon because of all of the taxes they're going to be putting back into our city. And there's cool ways to do that instead of just saying, hey, we're going to raise taxes on you guys in Lamarque. So I don't know. I just wanted to bring up that moment because I remember that. I was sitting in the back and I was like, man, it's getting kind of hot in here. I was like, this situation, I was like, he's laying into these dudes, asking the developer, why? Give us a good reason. And there was no good reason other than, I guess it doesn't hurt to ask, but you may be told no.
Well, Gardy, we in Lamarque, we want to grow, but we have to grow in a smart way. And so as we discuss and negotiate with our potential partners, whether they be residential partners or whether they be corporate partners, we want to make sure that we are representing the needs of Lamarque in a way that nobody can come into our city and take advantage of our citizenry. And I have always been an advocate for the community. I've always been an advocate for the individual members of our community, and I'll continue to be that. We want to grow, but we want to make sure that we have smart growth. Now, there are times, based on the deals that are set before us, that it might be in the best interest of the city to negotiate in a way that would make things easier for some of those corporate partners or some of those residential partners to come in, and certainly we can do some things with them if we feel like the ultimate finished product will be of benefit of the citizens of Lamarque,
creating jobs and everything else.
Yeah, but we can't simply start from that place as a negotiating point.
Right.
We have to make sure that it's smart growth.
It makes sense. All right. I appreciate you taking the time to come in, Mayor.
Thank you, Gardy.
Can you share your information one more time? If somebody wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
If you want to get a hold of me on Facebook, Keith Bell for Mayor. If you're looking to get a hold of me via phone, 409-877-2645. Youth Initiative and our Neighborhood Watch.
This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Again, hey, social media, feel free to share this out. Tag a friend if you have somebody that works in nonprofit work or someone like Chef Jimmy. Maybe there's a cook. Reach out. Let's do some stuff for our own community. Appreciate you guys. Again,